This is all brought to us by Rusted Design Center.
It is going to be Mitch Lupt in the 6 on the pole to the outside. The 2-car, Brandon Grilly.
Second row, Ryan McCarty, the 111 on the inside. And starting outside will be John Coots in the 1-3 car.
Inside of your third row, the 27, Don Garrettson Jr. to the outside. He's your quick timer tonight, the 055 of Jonathan Lee.
We go to the fourth row. That's where Shane Lewis lines up. He drives the 25 machine. Austin Hahn lines up outside the fourth row in car 07.
And it looks like Christopher Moret is lining up a shotgun on the field.
Got to update you here. Mitch Lupkus, the number 6 car, gave up his ride while, coaching football and whatnot to Nick Bienhoff, who, of course, is a late model ace from down there in Rock Rapids, Iowa. Sounds like this might be Nick's last night driving for Mitch. So that's Nick Bienhoff out there on the pole in the number 6 machine. Well, good-looking car, by the way, with the Hawkeye on there for those fans, but looks much like Nick's car in real life.
Definitely tell that is Nick with that old Hawkeye on the hood.
So again, 10 laps the distance. Top 4 go directly to tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature. By the way, this is heat race number 1. It is brought to us by the Cabaret up there in Carthage, South Dakota. Iconic bar and a great steakhouse that you can check out. Look them up on Facebook to see their latest and greatest deals, including their upcoming steak specials. That's the Cabaret in Carthage. So just about set to go. 5 heat races tonight, all brought to us by Rusted Design Center. Rusted's Design Center can help you create a space that shows off your personal style and suits all of your needs. Each heat race winner will pick up $10 courtesy of Rusted's Design Center. So the field makes their way into turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, Nick Bienhoff, Brandon Grilly, side by side. We're racing with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros on the eve of Thanksgiving.
And right, that is going to be Nick Bienhoff out to the race lead in car number 6. Brandon Grilly follows suit. Right behind him is going to be the 111 of McCarty, as well as John Coots in the 055. Jonathan Lee making the move there out to the 4th position as well.
Of course, off a 2 and down the back straightaway. Coots last week, hard charger in the sprint cars, of course, ran the soup on us, working through the DC and B main. We'll see what he can do in these supers. Now look at this battle for the race lead. Lucas has got it. Here comes Grilly. Now Coots now working to the 2 spot. Boy, you got yourself a 3-way battle for second.
Jonathan Lee trying to work his way through from that 6-car invert. He'll go to the inside of Coots. We go on board Coots. You see a little right side romance and some sparklers and snakes off the 13 machine as he made contact with that front straightaway wall. Allows the 27 of Don Garrettson Jr. into the final transfer spot.
Bienhoff still with the race lead, though, really holding on to second. The 55 of Lee up to third. Your quick time tonight, John Garrettson. Your 4th and final transfer is John Coots in the 13, trying to run him down, coming down the backstretch into turn number 3 now.
They'll hurry on down into turn 3 and 4. It's still your race leader, Lupkus, and it's Grilly, Lee, and Garrettson. Top 4 working down the front straightaway. Keep an eye on them. Laps winding down. We are just past the halfway point of this one. Heat race number 1. As Mitch Lupkus going to bring that old, oh, I gotta love it. Love it, I love it, I love it. Got the Hawkeyes out front like they will be on Friday when they play them Huskers.
Little red right behind him on Brandon Grilly's number 2 car, and he's got his hands full. Here comes Jonathan Lee, the quick timer from Broken Arrow Whitetails qualifications, chasing him down in that 055. They rip off turn number 4 by the stripe. 3 laps to go in your opening heat race.
Brandon Grilly coming under attack from the 55 of Lee, your quick timer. You look back behind him, Ryan around on the top side of the racetrack. Lee trying to make a move, and it looks like Garrettson still holds on to that 4th and final transfer spot. A lap and a half to go, Jerry.
Down the back straightaway, white flag going to be coming out this time off of turn number 4. Mitch Lupkus up front. Now here comes that 055 of Jonathan Lee. Lee looking to the inside of the 2 of Grilly. They'll work down into turn number 1 and 2. Final time down the back straightaway we go.
So they will head towards turn number 3. Nick Bienhoff showing the Mitch Lupkus ride around the speedway. Off of the final turn, and the 6 machine will pick up the win in their opening heat race. Brandon Grilly goes 2nd, Jonathan Lee 3rd, and Don Garrettson Jr. picks up the 4th and final transfer spot. John Coots was 5th, Ryan McCarty 6th, Austin on 7th, Shane Lewis was 8th, and Christopher Moret will cross the line in the 9th spot. So your first heat race brought to us by the Cabaret goes into the books. Heat race number 2 next up on the docket. And gentlemen, we've got 8 cars ready to roll onto the speedway for this starting grid.
That we do is going to be the 333 of Corey Goodall on the pole position, and to the outside, the 187 Matt Jertowski.
Row number 2 to the inside is going to be Jordan Larson. They're in the 543, and the 53 is Trey Stevenvitz on the outside.
We go to the 3rd row. It's Dominic Dobish, the 09 on the inside. Outside, he is your points leader, the number 5 of Tyler Johnson.
Your 4th and final row is going to see Evan Miller in the 39 to the inside and to the outside, making her iRacing debut, SODAK iRacing debut, that is, number 23 of Sam Volz.
So she'll be going for points tonight for Ice Cold Michelob as those drivers make their way onto the speedway. Again, 10 laps the distance on this heat race number 2, brought to us by Liquor Mart South, the quality liquor store right there in the heart of Southeast Sioux Falls. They've got a great selection of craft beer, wine, and liquor, and of course a convenient drive-up window for ultimate customer service. That's Liquor Mart South, bringing us heat race number 2 in the Rustad Design Center heat races.
What do you think there'd ever be a liquor mart north?
I hope so.
I mean, would that be more close to your house or something?
Liquor Mart East would be closer to my house.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. We'll make some calls.
Say
we'll do some
liquor.
things.
I say start a Liquor Mart South and just drive east, and by the time you get there, maybe you'll have something finished.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, speaking of finish, you got to start before you can finish. We are green on heat race number 2.
It's going to be Larson out to the race lead as the 333 of Goodall taking a rear start. 3 wide for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place spot between Dobesh, Thiesenbitz, and the 5 of Johnson.
Ah, man, deep in the field, they'll start to use all of them fenders as they work them off a 2 and down the back straightaway. It is up front, your race leader, Larson, followed there in the number 2 spot by Juratowski. Juratowski there, but right behind him, Thiesenbitz and Johnson have locked horns in a big-time battle to turn 1.
Yeah, Thiesenbitz was very lucky last time down the back straightaway. Got the right rear tire over the banking's edge. Was able to barely hold on to the racetrack, and he holds on to the 3rd spot. Tyler Johnson right behind him as you get a good look at the rear end of the 1J of Matt Jertowski. Ripping through turn number 2 now to the back straightaway.
On board with Thiesenbitz, looking forward now, trying to run down Jertowski in the 1J. The 543 of Larson, though, starting to make some advances and starting to check out ever so slightly in that 1st place spot. Holding on to that 4th and final transfer spot, your points leader, Tyler Johnson in the 5.
So down the front straightaway they come. Your race leader remains Jordan Larson in the 543. Let's look at that 2nd place spot as Jertowski, too tall in turn number 2. He'll slip off the racetrack. He's going to give up a transfer position. Thiesenbitz now 2nd. Tyler Johnson up to 3rd. And Dominic Dobish makes his way into the 4th and final transfer spot in the 09 machine. We've got 4 laps to go.
Jertowski shuffled all the way back to 7th place. Johnson and Dobesh, your final transfers, and as of right now, they're in the 39 car trying to run down the 09 of Dominic Dobesh with just 3 laps to go past the flag stand.
The run down into turn number 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. It's still Larson, Thiesenbitz, then it's Johnson and Dobesh. That's your top 4. Remember, top 4 going to walk tall to the A main tonight. The rest are going to come through some last chance qualifiers. Winding down the laps on this one. 2 to go. Now a lap and a half down the back straightaway.
Jordan Larson looking good in this 2nd heat race. He has a 2.75 second lead over Trey Thiesenbitz with the white flag in the air. Larson down the back straightaway for the final time, well in control of heat race number 2.
You can see Larson in the cockpit of that late model there, ever so smooth through the corners and down the streets as he takes the checkered flag. So Larson, Thiesenbitz, Johnson, and Dobesh punching their ticket to tonight's A main event.
So that'll wrap up another heat race here at virtual Lernerville out in the beautiful, beautiful state of Pennsylvania. Take a look at your finishing order.
So following your transfers to the finish there in heat race number 2, it was a 5th place run for Evan Miller. Corey Goodall was 6th. Matt Jertowski 7th. And Michaela Volz credited with the 8th spot. Heat race number 3 is brought to us by Volts Concrete and Construction, where they've got the experience and talent for any job. Give them a call at 605-480-3672 for your free estimate for your concrete work. Let's take a look now for the starting grid. 10 laps, top 4 transfer out of heat race number 3 that lines up a little bit like this.
On the pole. Oh,
That was
ahead,
nice.
No, I keep forgetting my blue light there, Sean.
Ah, that's fancy.
I know. It'll be Brett Nielsen there in the 10 car and the 49 Brock Stout to the outside. Scotty, who's in row 2?
Row 2 is going to see Lance Rip, the 125 to the inside, and the Cabarets, Connor Hamilton in the 3 to the outside.
Third row has Andrew Chenoweth, the 43 ride. He'll start inside of row number 3. And last week's main winner, Tanner Koster, in the 97 car. He'll start in the 6th spot.
Oh boy, gonna struggle bus from the 7th starting spot. That'll be the 444 of Ross Van Eck, and to his outside, Anthony Anderson there in the number 8 starting spot. So we are set to go another fantabulous heat race here at Lernerville.
Some of those things we talked about in the pre-race show, just how tough it is to be right up there on the edge of the racetrack, coming true for some of these drivers here. This is going to be tough. That's going to be the theme of the night. You want to be right up there on the edge to be fast, but it is razor thin between fast and disaster. Love that Connor Hamilton throwback ride with the Tony's Pizza number 3 car there. Shades of Matt Sturwald from years past. We go green now as we are underway 10 laps the distance.
And it's going to be Brett Nielsen in the 10 car jumping out to the early race lead. Lance Ripka, is going to tuck tail behind him side by side between Brock Stout and Chenoweth for your 3rd and final transfer spot.
Things will get nose happy and right side romancing off at turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Andrew Chenoweth's going to look to the inside of that 49 machine of Brock Stout. Now here comes Tanner Koster. Koster back there hanging on, watching there in the number 5 spot. Remember, you've got to be 4 and back. Oh, took a swing and a miss. No good on that. Chenoweth stays 4th.
Tanner Koster right now, your points leader, or defending champion and currently number 2 in the points, 1 spot out of a transfer. They're racing for the lead out front, though. Look at this, Lance Ripper, and Brett Nielsen side by side for the race lead.
As we go on board with Stout looking back to the 43 and Chenoweth as they rip the lip around the top side. You see Tanner Koster changing his line, working through the middle to the top side of the racetrack. Now still Chenoweth trying to get a run to that 3rd place spot to secure a spot to the A main as Lance Ripka now gets around the outside of Nielsen for that top spot.
Ripka, Stout, Nielsen, and Chenoweth, your top 4 breaking away down into turn number 3 and 4. Off of 4, they'll power down under the feet of your starter. That is Ripka, still your leader. Stout, Nielsen, and Chenoweth. Now Chenoweth going to slide that thing up across the nose. Going to take a look at it. He'll go to the number 3 spot as we go into turn number 3.
Brett Nielsen was battling for the lead. Now he's battling to hold on to a transfer spot. Here comes the 97 of Tanner Koster. A peek to the outside, changes lines, goes to the inside, side by side for the final transfer spot. Right now it still belongs to Brett Nielsen and the number 10 machine, but they head to turn number 3 and the 97 of Koster building a full head of steam on the top shelf.
Going to the top side to carry his momentum. And as we're on board with Koster right now, you see Nielsen working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get a run. Koster now through the cockpit, looking forward. Seems to be up to that 4th place spot. Now he is that 4th and final transfer spot as we have a lap and a half to go, Jerry.
Down the back straightaway, they'll work into turn number 3 and 4. The white flag will be coming out this time. It's still Ripka, your race leader, as everybody up on the top, married to that top shelf. Down into turn number 1 and 2, they'll go. Still Ripka, Stout, Chenoweth, and Koster. Final tie. Down the back straightaway, they'll work into turn number 3 and 4, making this one look like taking candy from a baby. Out front, Lance Ripka, your winner. 2nd to Stout, Chenoweth, and Koster, your top 4 transfer cars.
Brett Nielsen's going to come home 5th, Connor Hamilton 6th, the Ross Van Eck 7th, and Anthony Anderson crosses the line in the 8th spot. So that puts heat race number 3, brought to us by Volts Concrete, into the books. Shores Racing heat race number 4, 10 times around, is up next. 4 tickets up for grabs to go directly to tonight's A main starting lineup. for heat race number 4 of the Rusted Design Center heat races, we'll have Kevin Rost on the pole position, the number 71 machine, and Travis Shores in car number 1 joins him on the opening row.
Row number 2 is going to see the 99 of Aiden Lloyd being sponsored by Colin Lloyd tonight. And to the outside, the 15 car, Bob Bestman.
Going to row number 3, it's going to be Kevin Plegman driving the 24. Flip the numbers to the 42. It's Kyle Roseboom on the right side of row 3.
And from the 4th and final row, Josh Hofer, the 94 machine on the inside, and scheduled to start outside Troy Shores in the 12. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh.
What happened? What happened?
We've got something.
Did my ex-wife call?
No, we got a bigger deal going on here. Checking in for the first time with the SODAK iRacing series on Facebook, the one, the only, upside down Bubba Brown is in the house here tonight watching on Facebook.
We could use some cartwheels here on SODAK, couldn't we?
I like it. Hi, Bubba. Good to have you here. By the way, Sam Foltz checked in. She's also said this racing stuff is hard. So, Scotty, you mentioned there for a second that Aiden Lloyd tonight is sponsored by his brother Colin Lloyd. The story behind that is Aiden's pedals are broken, and so he needed pedals. So Colin said, you know what, take mine for the night. So little brotherly love helping Aiden in the 99 machine out here tonight.
Was Austin helping in any way, shape, or form?
Nobody did say the night he tunes in, Aiden actually qualifies good, so that was good.
There you go.
So heat race number 4 brought to us by Shores Racing, our 4th out of 5 heat races tonight. 4 transfer directly to tonight's Buzz Be Gone. Amen. 10 laps is the distance. Again, if you are watching here tonight, I know we had some folks check in from Oregon. Dale Furby, the big Furb dog, is watching here tonight. Good to have him checked in. If you are watching here tonight, let us know where you're watching from on the SODAK Facebook stream. Let's go green. 10 laps the distance. Kevin Rost takes him down to turn number 1.
And it's going to be Travis Shores right behind him. Aiden Lloyd, the 99 Plegman, putting it 3 wide for a split second. Oh, contact! Kevin Plegman and Travis Shores. As Shores gets sideways, we're still going to be lean, mean, and green, though. Kevin Ross going to lead lap number 1.
Down into turn number 1 and 2. Ross has got company. Here comes down to the inside. That number 15 machine up around the top shelf. It's a 71 of Bestman. Kevin Ross down to the inside. You got a new leader down the straightaway. It's Bob Bestman in the 1-5.
They'll trade lines down into turn number 1. Bob Bestman leads him off of turn number 2. Ross down there at the bottom. Here comes the 42, Kyle Roseboom. Oh, they make contact. Ross, hard right turn. He flies off the edge of the racetrack, and that will open up the battle for the second spot. Kyle Roseboom has it. Aiden Lloyd to the bottom, looking for position number 2 off of turn number 2.
Cars going around every which way, but we're still green here. Kyle Roseboom holding on to that second place spot. Aiden Lloyd wanted it, could not make it stick, but he is in third with a transfer spot as shooter Kevin Plegman holds on to that 4th and final transfer spot. Josh Hofer on the outside looking in car 94.
Down the back straightaway, it's going to be Hofer trying to chase that machine on down. That is Kevin Plegman as they work their cup down the front straightaway. It's still Bestman on out front. Now looking to battle for the race lead. It's up for grabs. Roseboom's got to run to the inside.
He could look to the inside, noses to the inside of Bob Bestman off of turn number 4. They flash by the flag stand with 4 laps to go. It's Bestman, Roseboom, Lloyd, and Plegman right now in the transfer spots.
Roseboom's going to hit the top shelf tuck tail right behind the 15 of Bestman on board on the nose of the 42 car, trying to be patient to make a move on that 15 car for the lead. 3 laps to go that time by.
Watch his battle on up front. She's going to get hot and heavy. Bestman, Roseboom. Here comes Lloyd. Plegman back there working in the number 3 spot. They'll work him on down. Here comes Lloyd to the outside. Lloyd working on in there. Nothing to be had is Roseboom, Bestman, Lloyd, and Plegman still your top 4.
Boy, Roseboom got a great run, going a little higher than Bestman through 3 and 4 last time. Was able to put the 42 ride out front. Bestman now second. They'll come to 2 laps to go on this heat race. Now the white flag is out. Final lap, great race for the second spot as Lloyd throws it down to the bottom and they head to the backstretch.
Could not make the slide job stick as they're side by side for that second place spot. Aiden Lloyd going to try it again in 3 and 4. Will not do so, but he will punch his ticket to the A main tonight as long as Kevin Plegman in position number 4, Bob Bestman in position number 2, and Kyle Rosaboom in car 42, your heat race winner.
Josh Hofer was 5th, Troy Shores in 6th, Kevin Rost finished in the 7th spot. And gentlemen, we've got one more heat race to go here tonight, brought to us by Jack's Custom Rods, where they specialize in handmade custom ice fishing and long rods for the summer season as well. And they're all built to your exact specifications. So as you wait for the ice to form, look up Jack's Custom Rods to get set for the upcoming ice fishing season. 10 laps, top 4 transfer. Starting lineup for the 5th and final heat race, brought to us by Rusted Design Centers, will look a little something like this.
It's going to be starting on the pole. We haven't seen him in a while, but glad to see him back. The 227 of Timothy Allerdings, and to the outside, the 20 car, Austin Opdahl.
We will see Tyler Gorel there in the 4 to the inside, the left side of row number 2 to the outside on the right. That's Bruce Jones in the 17.
Ethan Johnson pilots the number 33 car. He'll start inside row number 3. And Dylan Workman starting outside that 3rd row in car number 75. He picked up the series opener running 410 sprints at USA Speedway in October.
Your 4th and final row is going to see Benjamin Schaefer in the 89 car, to the inside, to the outside, the 41 of Jordan Opdahl.
Scheduled to make the call, but not making it because he's still working the gift shop with Babe and the Blue Ox up there in Brainerd, is Zach Heidebrink. He just couldn't get off work in time.
Ah, so close.
Yep. He was stuck picking up the number 2 of the Ox.
Marty Gurley checked in, says he needs a different job so he can come race. Agreed. Where does Kevin Plegman stand in the points standings? I was asked that. Right now, Shooter is 5th in the point standings.
And he's standing on 2 legs.
Also, Mitch Lupkus chiming in. Sounds like he might have lost his ride to Nate Bienhoff as well.
All right, interesting stuff. We go green. Final heat race of the night is underway. Good start there for Timothy Allerdings. He'll lead him down into turn 1.
As it's going to be the 4 car of Gorel up to that 2nd place spot. Johnson, the 33 in 3rd, and Workman up to that 4th spot now. Ethan Johnson slideways. We got cars upside down. Contact made, but we are still green here in your final heat race of the night.
It's Allerdings on out front, following Guerrero, and it's Opdahl and Workman. That's Uno, Dos, Tres, and Cuatro. They'll step it through turns 3 and 4. Down the front straightaway, Allerdings still out front, but not for long. Here comes Gorel. Tyler Gorel going to look to the outside of the 4 machine. He'll rip the lip and hit the loud pedal down the back straightaway, but look at the run at Allerdings down to the bottom of the 227.
Track is starting to get pretty racy here in this final heat race. Gorel, big run around the outside. They're dead even heading into turn number 1 with 7 laps to go. Tyler Gorel on the top shelf. Timothy Allerdings on the bottom, and the advantage now goes to Gorel as he will lead us down into turn number 3. We ride with 3rd position Austin Opdahl in the 20.
2 super late models going around the outside with Gorel with the race lead, as it's going to be your 2nd place spot. Allerdings and Opdahl in that Jimmy Owens looking ride back in that 3rd place spot. Dylan Workman a ways back to that 4th and final transfer spot, but Gorel looking really good here in heat race number 5.
They'll motor on down as we're at the halfway point on this one. Oh, hang on. I tell you what, you dance with the devil and flirt with the angels. Either way, none of it can pay out sometimes for that 227 of Timothy Allerdings. There we went from 2nd back into 4th, and here comes Workman. Power in the 75 running outside.
Suddenly, it's a good race for that 3rd spot. Allerdings in the 227, 75 of Dylan Workman. They're side by side into turn number 3. Allerdings working that bottom after dancing around the top. But the 75, Dylan Workman, he's got that top line figured out, and he has motored his way up to 3rd.
Up to 3rd indeed for that 75 car of Workman after tough luck earlier in this heat race going upside down. But Tyler Gorel still out in front. Austin Opdahl in 20 in 2nd. Workman and Allerdings. Bruce Jones is in 5th in the car, number 17.
Laps winding down. We'll be looking at the white flag this time off at turn number 4 for the 4 of Tyler Gorel. Goral going to bring the field on down. White waving in the air. Final time here in the heat race. It is a 4, Goral, Opdahl, then it's Workman and Allerdings down the back straightaway. Now motor into turn number 3 and 4. Final time, checkered is waving. It is out for Tyler Goral. Down across with the win. Opdahl, Workman, and Allerdings all going to the dance.
Bruce Jones going to finish in the 5th spot. Benjamin Schaefer in 6th. Jordan Opdahl 7th. And Ethan Johnson will be credited with 8th in our 5th and final heat race tonight for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. All right, it's time for some drivers to turn their luck around on this night. And things get better right here at this point. They had some rough heat races. They find themselves in the C main. But it can turn around because we've got 4 of these drivers transferring from the C into the Caleb Johnson Racing B main. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's C main.
It's going to be Benjamin Schaefer starting on the pole in car 89, and to the outside, the 07, Austin Hahn.
We'll go to row number 2 to the inside. It's Matt Juratowski in the 187. And, well, to his outside, finally admitting he is not a fan of late models or being able to drive them on iRacing. It is Ross Van Eck in the 444.
Starting inside the 3rd row, looking for some better luck in the C main, Kevin Rost in the 71. Jordan Opdahl in car 41 lights up outside row 3.
It's going to be Shane Lewis inside of row 4 in car 25, and to the outside, the 23, Sam Volts.
Going to row number 5 with the 9th and 10th place starters, it's Anthony Anderson in the 63, and the 12 is Troy Schures.
And from the back, the 33 of Ethan Johnson and 55 of Christopher Morit. So 12 cars scheduled for this one. 4 transfer after 12 laps of action for tonight's C main.
Bonus money already coming in for tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature. An extra $25 from Van Voorst Trucking. Austin Van Voorst out of George, Iowa there, putting up an extra $25 to tonight's winner of the Buzz Be Gone A main.
Again, if you haven't done so yet, check in if you're watching on the SODAK iRacing Series stream here tonight live on the Advantage Racing TV Facebook page. That's the one we're watching and keeping an eye on. Check in if you can here tonight, and we'd love to know where you're watching from. We know we've got folks watching from all over the place, so let us know. And also, if you missed our question earlier, tonight's question is, what is your favorite racetrack concession food? Let us know. Scotty, you guys are doing something different tonight. Where are you tonight? I usually say we're in the world headquarters of Advantage Racing TV in Northwest Iowa, but that's not the case tonight, right?
No, it's not. We can get to that in a minute, though, as we're going to go green here with your C feature. 89 is Schaefer out to the race lead. Hahn running in second, Juratowski, and Ross Van Eck, your current top 4. Here comes the 71 of Kevin Ross's contact with Juratowski. Ross and Van Eck as well, as Juratowski goes upside down off turn number 2.
That was not pretty. So let's take a look as we keep this one racing clean and green. Battle for the lead. Hahn and Schaefer. Schaefer in the 89 car looking to the outside. Hahn down there in the bottom. Ross Van Eck making his way from the bus barn back to the box. He's going to put her away for the night and see what he can do next Wednesday night. As they work him on up, you see 2 lines of racing shaping up great down into turn number 3.
Good run going right now. 4th place belongs to Jordan Opdahl in the 41 machine. He just sailed it into turn number 3. He's going to try to fend off the charge from Anthony Anderson in the 63. Anderson right now 1 spot out of a ticket to the B main, but he works to the bottom, coming after the 41 of Jordan Opdahl.
As Schaefer still with the race lead, Hahn, Lewis, and Opdahl, your 4 transfer spots right now. Anderson on the outside looking in. Looks like Ethan Johnson sitting 1 lap down in that 6th position in car 33. But out in front, it's the 89 of Benjamin Schaefer.
That time Hahn got steppy down in turn 1 and 2 and drove it up off the top of the racetrack. That let Chance Lewis bring the old Ricky Bobby 25 ride up into the number 2 spot. He'll now follow Benjamin Schaefer down the back straightaway to turn number 3 and 4. Laps winding down. Flags are crossed. We're halfway home. Schaefer, Lewis, Opdahl, and Anderson, top 4.
Yeah, big change there as the 07 of Hahn. You talked about him getting steppy, and then it got worse down the front straightaway. He pounded the front stretch wall, slipped off the top of the racetrack in turn number 1, and has now slipped back to the 5th position. So Anthony Anderson in the 63 now has that final transfer spot. We go on board with 5 laps to go.
5 to go on board with Anderson, as it looks like Opdahl slideways for a second there, collects it back up. He'll still hang on to that 3rd place spot, as it's going to be Opdahl and Anderson working to the inside of the track, as meanwhile Schaefer and Lewis seem to be working the middle to the high line.
I will watch him back there for 3rd and 4th. Opdahl and Anderson. Austin Hahn back there a ways in the 07 as they race down into turn number 3. This time they hustle by with just 3 to go. It's still Schaefer, Lewis, Opdahl, Anderson. Those 4 cars looking to go to the B main.
Austin Hahn, though, is giving it all he has got in that 07 machine. He has closed within a half second, now down to 4/10 of a second to Anthony Anderson. They come down the front straightaway. Big run for Hahn. He's coming after that final transfer spot. Bangs that front stretch wall, keeps the right foot in it.
Almost going off the track in that 07 car, but he is still on the outside looking in. 1 lap to go, though, here. So he's got to make up some ground. Not sure if he'll be able to do it. Schaefer, Lewis, Opdahl, Anderson, your current transferees.
Final 2 left-hand turns are coming. These 4 drivers go into the B. It'll be Benjamin Schaefer in the 89, Chance Lewis at 25, the 41 of Jordan Opdahl, and the 63 of Anthony Anderson. Your top 4 finishers. So they'll move on to their next chance to dance, the B main.
B main brought to us by Caleb Johnson Racing. Boy, Austin Hahn gave it all he had in that C main. Just come up short, bang that front stretch wall just maybe 1 too many times in that one. Let's see what we got. We got 4 tickets up for grabs, 12 laps, 14 laps of distance. I'm sorry, 14 laps is the distance on tonight's Caleb Johnson Racing B main. It has John Coots on the pole position, the number 13 machine. Running him on the front row, the 39. That's Evan Miller.
Inside of row 2, the 10 car, Brett Nielsen. To the outside, the 94, the My Race Pass, Josh Hofer.
Going to row number 3, it's Bruce Jones, the 17, and the 111 is Ryan McCarty.
4th row has the 333 of Corey Goodall on the inside. And lining up 8th, it's Connor Hamilton in car number 3.
Your 9th and 10th starters is going to be to the inside, the 1 car, Travis Schurz. To the outside, the 89, Benjamin Schaefer.
Final 2 starters going to be Jordan Opdahl in the 41 and Anthony Anderson, the 63. Now, you guys keep talking about all this food, right?
Yeah.
One thing that everybody's forgetting, and I think is kind of one of my steadfast and just great things, is you didn't see it a lot, but now you're starting to see it more at racetracks. Beatrice Speedway, chicken gizzards.
Gizzards.
I mean, yes. I like the gizzards of chicken, but anyway.
Raceway Park's got gizzards too.
Oh, they do? Now, see,
yes,
when I was going out to Beatrice back in the day announcing the spring and the fall races, it was always get some gizzards, nacho cheese, jalapenos, and onions.
Ooh, that sounds like heartburn.
That does sound like heartburn, but does sound good too.
Well, I'm not going to say that I didn't walk a couple days later like a dog dragging its what through the dewy grass.
Need to find some good old nachos now here down south.
Austin Lloyd checked in, said the Jackson chili cheese fries and the nacho chicken bites again too. So good stuff out there.
Yeah, so Knoxville chicken bites. Those are I love them things. Got a little spice to them. Speaking of spice, let's spice this one up. It's going to be John Coots working on down. And now he'll race him on down as here comes that 10 machine of Brett Nielsen. Watch the 111 of Ryan McCarty. And here we go down into turn number 3.
It's a spicy meatball for the 94 of Josh Hofer. He slipped back to the 5th spot, finds himself 1 out of a transfer spot, and here comes Connor Hamilton. Rip at the top, but too tall. The 3 car goes off over in turn number 2.
John Coots ran the alphabet soup last week. Now here in a B feature, trying to make it to the A. Bruce Jones, he was a runner-up here. He is currently sitting in that second place spot. The 111 Ryan McCarty and Brett Nielsen, your fourth and final transfer spot. Josh Hofer on the outside looking in, and here comes Travis Schurz in the 1 car as well.
We'll watch it back there for 5, 6, and 7. That's your race in the speedway right behind that 94 of Josh Hofer. Hofer's got company. The 1 of Travis Schurz on the bottom. Schurz now will go to the outside, follow the tire tracks off a 2 and out of back straightaway. Schurz in a 1 car, chasing down Josh Hofer. Hofer going to hold strong in a 5 spot. Now White Castles are coming. There it is. Serve the crankcase down the front straightaway.
Oh, but Hofer battles back to the inside of turn number 1. Schurz goes to the top, puts the rear right into the cushion, and he's got to run down the back straightaway. The 1 of Travis Schurz now 1 out of a transfer, setting his sights on the 10 of Brett Nielsen, who gets the car sideways down the front straightaway. We're battling for the final transfer spot.
Around the outside as we're going on board, looking back for the 1 of Schurz. Schurz is going to move himself into that 4th and final transfer spot. Now going to set his sights to the 17 of Jones. As you see Brett Nielsen trying to make up some ground, cannot do so. Bruce Jones working the bottom now to the middle of the racetrack, now back down to the bottom in the 17 car, holding on to that 3rd place spot.
Having some issues up here. I got some mic troubles. You guys take this one to the end.
Gotcha, 10-4, buddy. It's John Coots out front, Ryan McCarty in that 2nd spot. Bruce Jones in 3rd, got the car sideways. Here comes Travis Schurz. Schurz, big run. He's gone +5 in this Caleb Johnson Racing B main, and he'd like to advance 1 more spot, a little more security as he comes after Bruce Jones at 17.
As you see the 1 car right on the knife edge for Travis Schurz into the outside of Bruce Jones now coming in a turn at number 3 and 4 on board with Jones looking to the backside as you see Travis Schurz around the outside into that 3rd place spot now as Schurz now trying to run down McCarty with laps winding down. 4.5 to go, Sean.
Yeah, Scotty, looks just like the 17 of Bruce Jones, a little bit too loose down there on the bottom, and he is losing ground to the number 1 of Travis Schurz. But Jones right now in that final transfer spot. He's got 4 laps to hold on to that spot, and he had a 1.5 second advantage from 5th place running Brett Nielsen. They head into turn number 3 and 4. Jones will move up the racetrack. We've got 3 laps to go with its Caleb Johnson Racing B main. It's all the Jack's Custom Rods, number 13 of John Coots showing the way out front.
Bruce Jones, car snapped loose on him that time, trying to tighten it back up. Ryan McCarty in that 2nd place spot, got a little slideways, but still hanging on to 2nd. John Coots all out in front in car number 13. Lap and a half to go for your race leader.
Seeing these drivers being very smooth and easy on the throttles as they make their way around the bottom of the racetrack. Coots 3-wheels it off of turn number 4, sails down into turn number 1 on this final lap of the Caleb Johnson Racing B main. He'll head down the back straightaway, half a lap to go.
Half a lap to go indeed for John Coots as the 63 car, a lap car. That is going to be the checkered, though. It's going to be Coots, McCarty, Travis Schurz, and Bruce Jones moving on to tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature.
Brett Nielsen going to cross the line in 5th. Josh Hofer was 6th. Jordan Opdahl 7th. Anthony Anderson 8th. Shane Lewis finishes 9th. Benjamin Schaefer completing the top 10 in tonight's Caleb Johnson Racing B main event. Just like that, we have set the field. 24 starters ready to come onto the racetrack for tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature. We will get to the start of that feature event in just about 5 minutes. Right now, they have just reworked the racetrack, a little hot lap session to get the track ready to go for that Buzz Be Gone A main. By the way, Buzz Be Gone, your pest control company located right over the border here in Larchwood, Iowa. They'll serve your farm, your feedlot, your dairy operation, and all of your residential pest control needs. That's Buzz Be Gone of Larchwood, Iowa, bringing us tonight's A feature. Scotty, we've talked about this racetrack so much. I love the racing that this track puts on. As a driver, I hate how difficult that top side of the racetrack can be. One small step, and you've got a big, big issue. And we've seen that from several drivers already tonight, having trouble slipping off the top of the track.
Yeah, just with that knife edge right around the outside, like you mentioned earlier, Sean, the fine line between fast and broken. So yeah, definitely gonna have to, as they rework the track here and get some practice laps in. 24 cars going to the A main tonight. So yeah, we're gonna be in for a one, I think, hectic A feature on top of that. So
But
you also mentioned what we're doing here.
yes, I want to talk about that. You guys are not in the Advantage Racing TV World headquarters tonight, are you?
No, we're a little bit south of the headquarters right now.
How south of the headquarters would you be?
Well, we're Ryan Dugan, and then myself, and we're meeting up with a few other guys to bring some kart racing down in the Batesville, Mississippi area. So that's where we are, coming to you live from the Comfort Suites here tonight. So we are doing a show for our friends over at Pit Row TV, covering a 2-day kart show Friday and Saturday. So if you are not doing anything, tune into Pit Row TV. I believe it's pitrow.tv, I believe, is the website you can get into and enjoy some good old go-kart racing.
Love it. We'll look that up here in the coming days. A little Thanksgiving fun for all down there in Mississippi. So hope you guys all have a safe, good time down there. And need to remind our viewers here tonight, we'll have our Pivot Company's Hard Charger Award up for grabs in our Buzz Be Gone A-Main. $20 going to the Hard Charger. Of course, the Broken Arrow Whitetails Back Row Challenge is up for grabs as well. And we'll talk about that. We'll see if we get somebody to take the $100 challenge here tonight. $110 challenge here tonight. If anyone could come from the back to pick up the win, they'd pick up that bonus. And of course, the feature winner here tonight from all of these great sponsors picks up $50, $30 for second, $20 for third. And these drivers all running all night long to collect points towards their championship hunt. We'll have a $400 check going out to the champion of this series. And we'll pay out the top 10 plus a Jack's custom rod. All sorts of great stuff with this great series. SODAK iRacing series. Look us up on Facebook, and you'll see all sorts of great information on that. Looks like Jerry's having more technical trouble.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like he lost the simulator, so restarting everything. Hopefully, join us. Sean, we've been mentioning food all night here, and it seems like Marie Thiesenvitz saying Trey is the only driver to ever have chili cheese fries delivered to him at Huset's in Victory Lane.
That is true. I was interviewing him in Victory Lane that night, and he ate his chili cheese fries. I think it was a World of Outlaws show, if I remember right, and he enjoyed his chili cheese fries right there in Victory Lane at Huset Speedway. Oh, man, the chili cheese fries at Huset's were good, too. Oh, classic Huset's. They've got great food out there now, too. The Pizza Ranch pizza. There is something about the Pizza Ranch pizza at Huset Speedway that is just better. Like, I like Pizza Ranch. Wherever I go to Pizza Ranch, I like Pizza Ranch pizza. But there is something about that Pizza Ranch pizza at the racetrack that's just better than any other Pizza Ranch I have found in the world.
Well, and Pizza Ranch, you know, the main staple of the Midwest as well, so you can't have a racetrack without Pizza Ranch. And, you know, I made that mistake for the World of Outlaws show earlier this year at Huset's, sitting right behind the Pizza Ranch booth. And that was a bad choice, as we were stifled with hunger for the rest of the night.
Well, you know what it's going to take to go to Victory Lane here tonight? It's going to take a lot of good choices to get their car to Victory Lane in tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature. The car's heading to the staging area, and it is time to take a look at the grid for tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature event. 50 laps, the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the starting lineup. Starting 24th on the grid, it is the number 17 of Bruce Jones, and lining up inside the 12th row, the number 1 of Travis Shores.
To the outside of row number 11, pushing off in place 22, it's going to be the 111 of Ryan McCarty, and to the inside, it's going to be the 13 of John Coots.
Starting outside row number 10, it's the 227 of Timothy Allerdings. And inside of him, the number 24 of Shooter, Kevin Plegman.
Starting to the outside of row number 9, it's going to be last week's A feature winner, the 97 of Tanner Koster. And to the inside, the 09, Dominic Dobesh.
To the 8th row, the pride of Rock Rapids, Iowa, the 27 of Don Garrison Jr. And inside of him, the 75 of Dylan Workman.
To the outside of row number 7, you're going to see the number 99 of Aiden Lloyd, and to the inside, the 43, Andrew Chenoweth.
To the 6th row, it is Nick Bienhoff driving the number 6 car for Mitch Lupkis, and inside of him, going from 11th, it's Jordan Larson in the 543.
Your top 10 starters are going to line up like this. To the outside of row number 5, driving the 125, that is Lance Ripka. To the inside, the number 42, Kyle Rosenboom.
And we go to the outside of row number 4. It's the 4 of Tyler Gorel, and inside of him, the number 2 of Brandon Grilly.
This driver says he wants to go fast each and every week. To the outside of row 3, pushing off in position number 6, the 53 of Trey Thiesenwitz, and to the inside, the 49, Brock Stout.
We go to row number 2. It's the 15 of Bob Bestman on the outside, and on the inside, the 20 of Austin Opdahl.
Your front row looks like this. Your quick timer night, the 055 of Jonathan Lee, the outside of row 1, and starting on the pole, he is your current point leader for the SODAK iRacing Series, the number 5 of Tyler Johnson.
50 times around the Lernerville Speedway. The Buzz Be Gone, a feature for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Week number 6 is underway.
Underway indeed, and Tyler Johnson showing you why he is the points leader out in front in the number 5 car. It's going to be Lee running in second. Here comes Opdahl in car 20 to the inside as Lee ripping around the top side for that 3rd position.
Down into turns 1 and 2 they go. Tyler Johnson happy on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll lead him down the back straightaway. Brock Stout's in that 4th spot. Brandon Grilly completing the top 5 as caution flag waving over the speedway on this one. We go yellow for the first time, and the pace truck literally comes flying onto the racetrack. Oh, we've got trouble down there in turn number 1. One of the cars was upside down. Kyle Roseboom had trouble out there on the racetrack in the number 42 machine.
Just hearing from Jerry Van Sickle, he will not be joining us for the remainder of tonight's race here on the SODAK iRacing Series. So, Jerry, hope you can get everything fixed, and hopefully we'll see you back next week.
I think I'm still here. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I really think what happened is I ate too much in the concession stand. I got to go. I think I'm going to have to scoot on out of here if you catch my drift. So you boys bring her home. We'll be back next Wednesday. I'll be watching on the Book of Face there thing here. So I still want to know where you at, Scotty, because did I miss the story of where you're at tonight?
Batesville, Mississippi is where Ryan and I are at. So we're going to be down here shooting a go-kart race Friday and Saturday for our good friends over at Pit Road TV.
Ah, boy, for Stevens and the gang got you to working, don't they?
Yep.
All right. Well, you boys have fun in Mississippi. We'll watch this one come to the end, and bring her home, boys. And it's been fun talking about track food. And I really wish they would serve Pizza Ranch chicken at the racetrack, because I don't know. I mean, Pizza Ranch is famous for its pizza, but it is more famous for its chicken.
Absolutely. Oh, that sounds so good. Hey, speaking of sounding good, green flag sounds good. We've got it down the front straightaway. Tyler Johnson brings us back to the green. Down into turn number 1 they go. He's got the number 55 of Lee ripping the top shelf right there behind him. Down the back straightaway they go with the 20 of Opdahl right there in hot pursuit.
Opdahl in pursuit, like you said, Sean, on the bottom side of the racetrack. Jonathan Lee trying to make a move to the outside to try to run down the race leader as Tyler Johnson working the inside of the track. Lee up top. Here comes Opdahl in car 20. Great battle here for that 2nd and 3rd place spot.
Yeah, two very, very opposite groups going on right there in that battle for 2nd. Jonathan Lee on the very top of the racetrack, while the 20 of Austin Opdahl works the very bottom around the speedway. And the caution flag coming out once again for trouble out there on the track. This time, a couple cars tangled up deep in the field. Don Garrettson Jr., by the way, was one of the cars tangled up in that first caution. So the 27 out there on the track looks like a couple laps down. But yeah, a little trouble there for Rock Rapids, Iowa. Modified Ace running the late models here tonight. 6 laps in of 50 in this Buzz Be Gone a feature. Hey, I know we talked about this earlier, Scotty, but really looking forward to next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Set your timers and join us here once again live, free on Facebook. We'll go to the iRacing Straight Stocks next week here on The SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. It was one of the most popular events of the last series. It will bring the street stocks back by popular demand next Wednesday night right here. And, of course, 2 weeks from tonight, 360 sprint cars at the Volusia Speedway. So a couple of fan favorites coming up in the next 2 weeks for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Of course, Asphalt Pros bringing you this entire night of racing action. Whether you're looking to install a new asphalt surface or repair, maintain, or resurface what you already have, Asphalt Pros will help get that project done efficiently and correctly. That's Asphalt Pros bringing you the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Week number 6 as we work through out here on the track. 6 laps in, 50 laps the distance on tonight's feature event, and the field getting that hustle to the pace truck, and they get set to go off of turn number 4. Tyler Johnson still out front in the number 5 machine.
Out in front, he is. Will we see a repeat winner here tonight, or our 6th different winner here for the SODAK iRacing Series? Green flag back out, and immediately Jonathan Lee going to the top side of the racetrack. He seems very comfortable up here, trying to run down your current points leader and your current race leader, as they're 3-4 deep back behind them for about that 5th, 6th place spot. And we got contact, but we're still leading the green, John.
That was some chaos back there, but everybody sorts it out. They're 3 wide once again for the 7th position. Here comes the 125 of Lance Ripka coming after Bob Bestman. That's going on right behind Trey Thiesenvitz and Brandon Grilly. Right now, Thiesenvitz into the top 5, into Thiesenvitz Motorsports number 53. But we've got to look back out front. Things heating up right there with your race leaders. Top 3 battling for the spots all through turns 3 and 4.
2nd and 3rd place spots being traded between Jordan Opdahl and Jonathan Lee in the 20 and 055. Tyler Johnson out with the race lead, almost a half a second lead over the 20 of Austin Opdahl.
Look at him go down into turn number 3. Lee on the top, Johnson on the top, Opdahl, Lone Ranger around the bottom. Top 3 coming up to some traffic. Oh, by the way, the traffic is the 97. Last week's feature winner, Tanner Koster, has found himself nearly in the cusp of the leaders here, trying to stay on the lead lap. We put 10 laps into the books now, lap number 11 being worked. Tyler Johnson remains out front.
As you see, we were on board with Brandon Grilly, looking back at the chaos there. 3 wide through the corner, almost putting it 4 deep. Lance Ripka in that 6th position, and it's just complete chaos right behind the 125.
Oh, good gravy. They were 4 wide there for a minute with Lance Ripper on the top of the speedway. Chenoweth in the middle, Grilly on the bottom. Here comes Roseboomer on the top, and the 4 of Tyler Gorel, all in that mess of cars. Ripka right now leading that pack. He is in the 6th position. It is still a mess as they come down the front straightaway into turn number 1. You are on board in the 4 machine of Tyler Gorel, who runs in the 9th spot.
As Gorel is tucked tail right behind the 42 of Roseboom. Roseboom dives to the bottom of the racetrack, now up through the middle. Gorel trying to find a momentum run on the outside. He will do so. Chenoweth getting into the front stretch wall, and the 543 of Larson, is coming through the pack as well.
It is a bunch of racing action going on in that spot as the caution flag comes out once again. And need to find what happened here. This one, if iRacing is right, we had something happen here. Let's see here. Caution is out. Johnson remains your leader out front in the 5 machine. Tyler Johnson's led every lap thus far in this one. This race, boy, Scotty, what did you think of that big pack there racing just outside the top 5?
You know, we were worried about the leaders for the first few laps, but right behind them from 6th on back, anybody's guess as who was going to be out in front in that pack. Some clean racing, a little bit of rubbing, but, you know, as they say, rubbing is racing, and just going to have to see what's going to happen here when we come back to green.
Oh, that's a good sound.
I heard that.
Tanner Koster going to get a little lucky break here with this caution. Gets back onto the lead lap with his 97 machine, and they'll get doubled up behind them, behind the pace truck for the restart here off of a turn number 4. Looks like Brock Stout up there in the top 5. And this will be interesting here. Lance Ripka was in 6th, but there was quite a gap from Thiesenvitz in 5th back to him. They're all bunched up now. We come back to the green. We have 14 laps in of this 50-lapper. We're back to green at Lernerville with the SODAK iRacing Series.
And look at Thiesenvitz diving right to the bottom. Going to put it 3 deep for that second, third, and fourth place spot. Contact with Jonathan Lee. As Jonathan Lee slide job on the 20 of Austin Opdahl as they're 3 wide for that second place spot in turn number 2. Or excuse me, off turn number 4.
Low contact as they head down to turn number 1. 3 cars racing for the bottom of the racetrack. Thiesenvitz into the second spot. The 53 machine on the move. He'll go to the bottom of turn number 3. Opdahl tries to get to his nose to his inside as Jonathan Lee rips the top. They go by the flag stand. 17th lap of this 50-lapper. Side by side for second. Thiesenvitz on the bottom. Jonathan Lee on the top, heading into turn number 3.
Meanwhile, behind them, the 42 of Rosenboom on the top side, trying to bring the momentum to his advantage. He's going to pull side by side with Opdahl now into turn 1 and 2, 3 wide. Again, for a split second as a caution flag comes out on lap number 18.
Back under the yellow to bunch things up. Looks like Bob Bestman with trouble here off of turn number 4. Here comes the pace truck flying onto the racetrack. Hey, by the way, we talk about the Pivot Company's Hard Charger Award every night, and right now plus 13 positions for the number 1 of Travis Shores. So he is making his way through the field after having to come out of that Caleb Johnson Racing B main. So we'll have to keep an eye on him to start making his way into the front of this running order.
You know, as we just see Schurz on the screen right now, right behind him, the 6 car of Nick Einhoff. You know, he races late models in the real world, so you got to be wondering, is this more familiar for him in this super late model setup, as you see Don Garrison Jr. getting the wave around in the 27 car there. Wonder what's going through Nick's head right now is what did he get himself into, but what work he has to do to possibly put that 6 machine up front.
Well, I think as we've all found, if you get behind one of your friends' iRacing rigs, you start driving one of these things, it gets very addicting in a hurry. So, yeah, I would bet Nick, who, by the way, proud new papa here recently, congratulations to him. Yeah, maybe an iRacing purchase probably in his near future. We shall see. Field's going to get doubled up behind the iRacing pace truck as we're 5-6 laps shy of the halfway point of this Buzz Be Gone A feature. It has been all Tyler Johnson out front in that number 5 ride, but boy, are they been wild behind him. He'll have the 55 of Jonathan Lee on that outside. Lee has been running the top shelf this entire feature event. They drop the right foot down, and here we go once again as they race down to turn 1.
As we were on board with Thiesenvitz for the drop of the green flag, Tyler Johnson back to the race lead. Here comes Thiesenvitz to the inside of Jonathan Lee through turns 3 and 4. Opdahl trying to get a run on the 42 of Rosenboom. Here comes Brock Stout and Lance Ripka in there as well, as long as the 543 of Larson.
125 of Ripka working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to gain some spots. Is that 125 machine goes side by side with Stout right behind Opdahl. They are all over the place right behind them as Opdahl got a little bit sideways coming off of turn number 4. 3 wide. Shores trying to go through the middle, makes contact with Ripka, and we've got Chaos back there behind them. Everybody straightens it out, but looks like Lance Ripka going to lose several positions.
Still lean, mean, and green here from the Lernerville Speedway. 22 laps of 50 laps down, almost halfway here. As we see Kyle Rosenboom up on the top side of the racetrack in car 42, trying to run down the 20 of Opdahl. As Thiesenvitz, your second place runner, still Tyler Johnson, all out in front in car number 5.
This is the part of the race that I was curious about. Right around that midpoint when the track starts going through its major transition. Remember, it got reworked right before this A-main. This thing is going to start to slick off like glass. Who has the car set up for the second half of this race? We are about to find out. Tyler Johnson looking very strong as we've got 3 cars racing for position. Here comes Kyle Rosenboom around the outside. They're 3 wide heading into turn 3. Rosenboom, Lee, and Opdahl all racing for position off of turn number 3. Give it to Rosenboom. He's up to 3rd.
Rosenboom up on the high side, very finesse on the gas pedal there to carry the momentum around for the 42 car. Opdahl down to the bottom of the racetrack now, trying to get a run on the bottom side. Cannot do so as Jonathan Lee changes his line to the top side now to tuck tail behind the 42 of Rosenboom.
That's all right in front of the 49 of Brock Stout. The 42 of Kyle Roseboom, good strong run. He started 9th in the field, runs 3rd. He's got Austin Opdahl working that inside line. By the way, watch him off of turn number 4. Turn 4 here actually banks the other way on the very bottom, shifts all the way to the right rear quarter of the car. You can get a big drive or a big push depending on how you hit that banking at the exit of turn number 4.
Talking about Kyle Rosenboom, though, he being so smooth through the corners on the top side of the racetrack, as Jonathan Lee being smooth as well. Still Opdahl on the bottom side of the racetrack, now cuts to the middle. Might see a line change here. Meanwhile, out in front, Tyler Johnson with almost a 2.5 second lead over second place, running the 53 of Trey Thiesenbitz.
Kyle Roseboom still in that 3rd spot. 4th belongs to Jonathan Lee as Austin Opdahl works to his inside. So side-by-side battle for position number 4 on the racetrack. Austin Opdahl has been married to that bottom groove this entire Buzz Be Gone 8-feature event. Right now, he finds himself in the 5th spot. Trey Thiesenbitz, meanwhile, has changed lines. The 53 machine up on the top shelf. Kyle Roseboom closing in on that second-place car. They come off of turn number 4. We've got 20 laps to go here at Lernerville.
20 to go. Thiesenbitz now back down to the bottom side as he's got a tail tank of Rosenboom right behind him. Thiesenbitz back to the middle now, dive bombing back down to turn number 4. Kyle Rosenboom trying to carry the momentum on the top side to get to that second place position.
So Thiesenbitz was able to get a little bit of breathing room, and I mean little, over Kyle Roseboom in that second spot. It's Jonathan Lee trying to close in on him. Austin Opdahl is 5th. Brock Stout in the 6th spot. Travis Shores runs in 7th. Then side by side, Tyler Gorel in the 8th spot, and Nick Bienhoff up to 9th with Kevin Plegman completing your top 10. We've got 18 laps to go with the SODAK iRacing Series and a whole bunch of lap traffic right in front of your race leader. It's about to get busy for Tyler Johnson out front in the 5.
Meanwhile, Roseboom found a way around Thiesenbitz as Thiesenbitz got tight on that prior lap. He is shuffled back to 3rd. Jonathan Lee going around the top side with Roseboom now as Tyler Johnson holds almost a 4-second lead over second place running Kyle Roseboom in car 42 as Jonathan Lee kisses the wall on the front stretch.
Things are going to change. We'll see that interval from the leader start to disappear because he is in heavy lap traffic right now, though. Great race, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th all together as they come down the front straightaway. Roseboom in 2nd, Jonathan Lee up to 3rd, Thiesenbitz now 4th, and Austin Opdahl continues in the 5th spot. Looks like that top side starting to become more and more dominant. Perhaps the bottom group starting to wear out with the 14 laps to go here at Lernerville.
The top side seems to be the place to be as Kyle Roseboom pushes ever so slightly that time. Jonathan Lee trying to capitalize, could not do so. Thiesenbitz running the middle to the bottom side now. Opdahl trying to catch back up to the group. As Tyler Johnson,
Car just went flying off the top of turn number 1. That was Timothy Allerdings in the 227, and that's going to bring out the caution with 13 laps to go here. And I don't know, Scotty, if you're in Tyler Johnson's shoes right now, I don't know if you're happy to see that caution or unhappy. You had a 3-second lead over second place, but you were stuck in a whole bunch of traffic that was all racing each other for position. I'm not sure how you feel if you're behind the wheel of that number 5 car right now.
I mean, caution is not what you want to see, especially a couple of them right in a row like this. So I don't think it's going to phase Tyler at all. I mean, we've seen him with a late model win last season here for the SODAK iRacing Series. So he seems pretty comfortable out in front as long as he hits his mark and stays calm about it. I think he should be able to carry it to the end. Also, just want to mention again, Van Voorst Trucking putting up an extra $25 to the winner here tonight for the A main event for your Buzz Be Gone SODAK iRacing Series.
Ah, very cool. I'd almost forgotten about that here. So, yeah, thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who supports this league. We couldn't do it without them. We couldn't do it without the great people tuning in all over the all over the country here tonight. We know they're tuned in, but particularly for those of you here right here in our neck of the woods, we thank you guys for tuning in. We thank you for supporting our sponsors as they get doubled up. set for the restart. Don Garrettson Jr. going to get a quick wave around here to get one of his laps back on that 27 machine. That top line has become very fast here, Scotty, and interesting on this double file restart. The 5 of Tyler Johnson, he'll get to fire first, but he's on the bottom. Kyle Roseboom's up there on the top where he has been making up a whole bunch of ground. We're back to green here with the SODAK iRacing Series with just over with a dozen laps to go.
And Tyler Johnson is going to move to the inside of the racetrack and try to slide it up in front of the nose of the 42 of Rosenboom. Opdahl is going to follow as well on the bottom side in car 20 of Rosenboom. And Jonathan Lee as Tyler Johnson moves to the top side. Lee off the track and into the front stretch wall. Kyle Rosenboom to the top side of the racetrack now trying to get a run as a caution comes out with 11 to go.
Oh, there was big trouble there for Jonathan Lee. Such a good run going here tonight in that 0:55. And that's what we talked about when this show started here about an hour and a half ago, Scotty. We talked about that. You called it the knife's edge on the top, and it is exactly that. You miss that top groove, you step just one rung too high on the ladder here, and it's disaster. And that is exactly what just happened to Jonathan Lee. Just got the right rear over the over the top edge over there in turn number 4, slapped the wall, and then ended up on the wall all down the front straightaway, and that brought the caution.
Definitely not what you want to see, but now Tyler Johnson, we saw him go to the bottom side of the racetrack there in turns 1 and 2 on that restart. Kyle Rosenboom, like you mentioned earlier, Sean, really ripping the lip up top and getting some great runs. So I think we're going to be in for a heck of a battle here coming down to the finish line between that 5 and 42 cars.
Yeah, Roseboom in the 42 got a real nice restart, but wasn't able to get quite the run he needed down the back straightaway to throw that big slide job for the race lead when they got to turn number 3 when Johnson went back up to the top. We'll have to see if he's able to change his line through 1 and 2 this time to get just a little bit better of a run at the race leader. If he's closing in on the race leader as they enter turn number 3, and if Johnson would decide to go to the top, watch for that big old slide job. And when they get to turn number 3, that could be very interesting here. By the way, Travis Shores into the top 5. He's gone plus 18. You see that number 1 machine starting inside the 3rd row. We're back to the green. 10 laps to go.
Tyler Johnson quickly moving to the top side of the racetrack, now back down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Roseboom around the top side, did not get quite the start that he needed to, but here comes Travis Shores. Shores in the 1 car, as we just mentioned, into the top 5, now trying to get a podium finish in car number 1. To the outside, though, Kyle Roseboom, but Tyler Johnson still too strong on the bottom.
Great restart for Austin Opdahl. He has that 2nd spot now in the number 20 machine. That bottom line maybe coming back around. Opdahl looking strong. Roseboom flirting with disaster off turn number 4. 4 wide on the front straightaway. Now contact for a couple of the hard chargers and big time mess going down there into turn number 1.
Trey Thiesenvitz involved. Travis Shores involved. Along with looked like the 09 of Dominic Dobesh involved. So yeah, not the place you wanted to be there for a split second. Tough luck for the 1 car. Travis Shores, as you mentioned, Sean, 18 positions gained so far.
Boy, I'm just looking at what happened there. Shores was in the middle, Bienhoff was on the bottom, and Thiesenvitz was on the very top. Thiesenvitz actually got to the inside of Roseboom. Those 4 names I just rattled off were 4 wide. And as Thiesenvitz was trying to avoid making contact with Roseboom, he moved down just slightly enough. Nothing malicious there, just trying not to avoid 1 car, not knowing that somebody else was to his inside, and that sent Shores around, and then the 09 of Dobish piled in there, and they all went flying off the racetrack down in turn number 1 to bring us under the caution. Oh, terrible break there for Travis Shores, who had gained so many positions in this A.
Yeah, but like we all know, anything can happen in racing, and sometimes tough luck happens, and there's nothing you can do about it but make repairs and try again next week.
How about Austin Opdahl? Good run going for the Opdahl Farms number 20 machine, running right there with Tyler Johnson out front. And he got a fantastic restart. We were talking about what Roseboom could do to try to come after that race lead. Meanwhile, it is the 20 of Opdal who's got his nose up there. By the way, Roseboom restarts third. Nick Bienhoff up to the 4th spot in the number 6 car. He's gained 8 positions thus far. Trey Thiesenvitz will restart in 5th. We'll have 7 laps to go. We come back to the green here for the conclusion of tonight's Buzz Be Gone A main for the Asphalt Pros SODAK iRacing Series.
Single file restart that time as it's Johnson, Opdal, Roseboom, and Bienhoff to the bottom side of the racetrack. Thiesenvitz going to follow them on the bottom side too. Then Brock Stout and Dylan Workman up on the top side. Tyler Johnson to the top side of the racetrack off of turn number 4. Is there something coming back on the top side? But it looks like bottom side is where everyone is going now.
Tyler Johnson has led 44 laps thus far tonight in this Buzz Be Gone A main. He's got a lead to lap number 50. He's stretching that interval out to 9/10 of a second over Austin Opdal in second. Kyle Roseboom trying to build that momentum on the top shelf once again in the 42 ride as the caution flag comes out once again.
Caution flag flying with just a handful of laps to go as Wally's going to pull her out onto the raceway. Oh, slow down, Wally. Ramping it off of the top of turn number 4 there.
Gotta love the pace truck here at Lernerville. Literally ramps off of the turn 4. Love that. This is interesting here. Scotty, you've been in a race car. These drivers, of course, they're not wearing the safety gear, the helmets, and all that stuff unless they've got VR on their face. And but I mean, still sitting here in these rigs, these caution flags come out. One, it takes them out of their rhythm. Two, like, you know, they're ready to move around, and now you've got to think, like, even sometimes some head games come into play here with caution flags here late in an A main.
Yeah, especially under caution, you know, sometimes you don't really have to think when you're out there under green flag. Sometimes under caution, you think, okay, do I want to try to change my line, or, you know, what's the guy in front of me doing? Do I follow him, or when do I make my move here? And I think that's what Austin Opdal at 20 is thinking with just a handful of laps to go. What does he have to do to get past the number 5 of Tyler Johnson? So patience is the game here, but with 1 lap coming to green and just a handful of laps to go, how long is he going to have to wait to make that move?
Yeah, I think you can throw patience out the window. However, for 46 laps so far tonight, the number 20 of Austin Opdal has ran the bottom of this racetrack in this A main. I would be shocked to see that Opdal Farms car change grooves at this point of this event. We come back to the green. The Buzz Be Gone A feature for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Back to green. Great restart for Tyler Johnson. He'll pull him down into turn number 1. We go side by side for third, and the yellow is back out. Tyler Gorel somehow was down on the infield off of turn number 4. As we must have had a melee on that restart. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll on back on my feed here and see what happened. Oh, Gorel in the 4 machine started right behind the 13 of John Coots, who got a little steppy on the restart. They made contact, and then, yeah, Gorel just went around and shot the car on the infield to get out of everybody's way.
Kyle Roseboom with a shot to the rear end, a shot in the shorts, as you would say, to the 20 of Opdal. So that was almost a good restart for the 42 car, and then Bienhoff back in that 4th place spot, and the 6 car had a great run going as well.
You know, I would think with Nick Bienhoff having very little iRacing experience when this league started 6 weeks ago, and now he's running up here in the top 5, 4th to be exact. Yeah, he may be addicted to this iRacing thing. We'll have to see if we can continue to keep him racing, even when Mitch comes back and reclaims his own ride.
Well, and even with this track set up to, you know, a short track with banked and in a car that he's familiar with and knows how to set up too, it's just like, you know, running at Raceway Park like they do with the repairablevehicle.com tri-state late models. As Sean, you've seen them at Raceway too. These guys, you get the right car combination and the track combination. These guys can really put on some good shows.
And that, too, if you're tuned in for iRacing here, if you're not familiar with it, setup is a major part of this. And these race cars have a large number of changes you can make to them prior to the race, and even during the race you can adjust the brake bias just like you can in a real race car. So know how to set up a real race car all transfers over into this virtual world. So will that pay off with a podium finish, perhaps, for Bayenhoff? We'll find out. Set for the restart. Another good restart there for Tyler Johnson as he cranks it down the hill, back to the green, and back to turn number 1 they go. The 5 ride out front. Opdahl in second. Here comes Roseboom. Little bit of contact. Opdahl gets sideways. Bayenhoff in the mix. Thiesenwitz back up to third. Roseboom in second as they come through turns 3 and 4.
As we were on board with Kyle Roseboom, you saw the slight contact as we're 2 laps to go now. Tyler Johnson out in front, Roseboom in second. Here comes Thiesenwitz on the top side, trying to get to a podium finish in car 53.
Just behind Bayenhoff is the 75 of Dylan Workman. We've barely said his name in this A-main, but he's cracked into the top 5. White flag is out. Tyler Johnson through turn number 2. It's a good race in the second spot. Johnson's going to hold on and win this thing, but let's look for second. Roseboom, Bayenhoff, Thiesenwitz, all in the mix off of turn number 4. Johnson gets the win. Roseboom in second at the line for third. Thiesenwitz by the slightest of margins over Bayenhoff. Oh my, a close one here tonight for the SODAK iRacing Series with Dylan Workman completing your top 5. What a feature event there, Scotty. How about the performance from Tyler Johnson?
Absolutely, as we're going to see some donuts from the 5 car at a win in the late models last season here on SODAK iRacing, and now picking up another win in the late models here tonight at Lernerville. And your points leader giving more cushion to his points lead here tonight.
Boy, was that a close one there for the second, third, and fourth spots, as we will hear from our top 3. So stick around here as we move into our Asphalt Pros post-race show here tonight. And we will hear from the top 3 finishers on this one. Again, your unofficial top 10, Tyler Johnson picks up the win. Kyle Roseboom second, Trey Thiesenwitz third, Mitch Lupkus in fourth, and Dylan Workman fifth. John Coots finishes in the 6th spot. Austin Opdahl 7th. Don Garrettson Jr. comes back from the early race issues to place in 8th. Tanner Koster 9th, and 10th place going to Brock Stout. Your hard charger in this one, brought to us by Pivot Companies, looks to be 6th place finishing John Coots, the number 13 car, gaining 15 spots in tonight's feature event. We will hear from Tyler Johnson here momentarily as he makes his way down there in to the winner's circle. And Tyler Johnson in the number 5 car, 50 laps you led here tonight. Congratulations on the win. First ever time the SODAK iRacing Series has tackled the super late models, and you put on quite the performance.
Yeah, it was quite the blast. We kept getting cautions. I felt like I had a really good car all night, and then we kept getting cautions when I had leads, and I'm like, oh no. And then the last restart, I got a good restart, and then I'm not sure what happened to Austin. And then I had a big lead, so I was like, all right, I'll take it. And then got to the white flag, got to the 3 and 4, and then I was like, I finally did it, got a win. So I'm pretty happy.
6 races, 6 different winner for the SODAK iRacing Series. What does that mean to you about the quality of this league?
Oh, it's the league is insanely good. Like there's a reason there's been a different winner every week. It's because there's so many good people. It's crazy. It's such a fun league too. To win tonight, it's pretty cool.
Talk about the challenge of super late models. We haven't run them in this league, probably for good reason, but tonight you guys put on quite the show. But talk about what it takes to drive one of these cars like you just did.
Oh boy, it's like a pro. I like pro late models, and then this is just a lot more power, it seems like. And I didn't think I'd do good, and because I'm just a pro late model guy, and to come out and win tonight, it's pretty cool, especially in the super late models. The first time running these.
You talked about the cautions coming out there, but at one point you were 3.5 to 4 seconds ahead of everybody, and then you found yourself in a hornet's nest of lap traffic. Did you pucker a little bit when you were caught up in all that traffic?
Yeah. It was, oh boy, it was. I saw it coming, and then I'm like, I want a caution. Like the one time I did want a caution, it was when I caught lap traffic, and trying to navigate around them. It was a little difficult, but I mean, I got through a couple of them, and then we had a caution, so I was kind of happy, kind of mad because I got through them pretty well, and then I had a big lead still, and yeah, it was fun, I guess.
You entered tonight as the points leader. I think everybody in this league who's running for points probably had this event on their schedule with a big question mark next to it, like what's going to happen week number 6 with super late models. How do you feel about your chances with this points hunt now that you have survived tonight's competition?
I feel pretty good. I mean, it's basically a 1 versus 2 up top of the points right now. So, you know, being ahead of Tanner and Dylan, it's pretty cool. And then even extending the points lead probably by a good amount. I'm not sure what they finished, but it feels pretty good. And I'm pretty happy going into week 7.
Week 7 street stock. We're going to take them to a short track. I don't know exactly where yet, but how do you feel about getting into street stocks next week? A little less horsepower, I would say.
Yeah, those are definitely not my go-to at all. Don't really run them. Don't really like them. It's if I can survive and finish decently in the future, if I even make the future, I'll be happy. But I guess we'll see how it goes.
Nobody ever seems to like what's coming up next. But tonight, it belongs to you to celebrate. Congratulations on the win. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you guys as well. I want to thank my sponsors, Josh Flood and Flood Racing Components, and then Colt Duff Electric. I want to shout out my friend, Dylan Plank, my parents. Thank you guys, and it's been fun. Thank you.
Better say hi to Keegan while you're at it.
Yeah, yep. She's commenting all over your Facebook post, so oh boy.
Congratulations on the win, Tyler Johnson, and congratulations on extending that points lead. We've heard from your winner. We need to hear from that second place finisher, Kyle Roseboom, who traveled up to the 2nd spot after starting 9th on the grid. He stands by with Scotty DeYoung.
Kyle here, driver of the 42 car. The top side of the racetrack is seemed to where this car liked it the most. Saw you go down to the bottom side. Did that top side just go away after a while?
Yeah, it was up in the air. I think 1 and 2 for sure. Bottom was dominant, but 3 and 4, I think he could run the top pretty well. But I was kind of lenient on that decision. I don't know. I was pretty comfortable on the bottom towards the end there. So,
like Sean mentioned, with Tyler, first time running the super late models. What did you think of not only this class but also the track combination to go with it as well?
they're definitely a handful, and this track is real tricky. To hit that top, you got to be real cautious because it pulls you off. If you miss that cushion, it pulls you right off. So it's a fun track, but it's very tricky. So it was a good time.
What's going through your head though, like when you're battling with Austin Opdahl, where Austin's running the bottom and getting good runs, and then you're staying committed to the top side? It's just trying to make it ever so slightly past the 20 car, and then on that restart, we saw a little bit of contact there. Just what was the thought going into changing the line going down to the bottom?
Yeah, I think we were pretty even for the most part, but yeah, then I kind of got into him a little bit. I think he kind of lost his tires there a little bit, and I tried to check up, and at that point it was kind of too late. I feel bad, sorry for the 20 car, and I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to be the cleanest guy out here most of the time, but yeah, all in all, I don't know, just sorry for the 20 car, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Next week, street stocks, track to be determined yet. We know it's going to be a short track, but street stocks, a lot of fun last year. What are you looking forward to with the street stocks next week?
That's a great question. I don't really run those a whole lot, so I guess we'll try to get some laps in with that class and see what happens. Just try to stay out of trouble and try to make the feature. That's my goal every week, so we'll see what happens.
Definitely a good goal to have. Who would you like to thank tonight for the runner-up spot?
Definitely want to thank my sponsors, Aces Pub down there in Sioux Center, Iowa, and A1 Auto Care out of Beaver Creek, Minnesota. So it's a good run for the 42 machine, and hopefully we can keep this up.
Definitely, like you said, a great run for the 42 car. Good luck next week with the street stocks, and a happy Thanksgiving to you as well. And we will go to Sean Neisted standing by with the 53 car of Trey Thieves and Bits. Sean?
Trey, what a name it was for you. You were outside the top 5, into the top 5, up there to the podium, out of a podium, back to a podium. You've got to be worn out after all of that.
Yeah, I was rolling really good on the bottom early, and that just started slicking up, and I wasn't really going anywhere. And on the top, it just I dropped gear before the feature, and with it being heavy, I just didn't have the drive I needed till the end there, and I just decided to cowboy up on one of the restarts there at the end and found a little bit of something, and then just started going for it.
One of the things we were talking about during one of those last cautions is setup. How much does that play into this, and how difficult was that, being that we generally don't run super late models with this series?
I'm going to be honest, the first time I ever ran this car and track combination was Wednesday after last week's race. I downloaded a setup off of Google, honestly, about 4 this afternoon, started tweaking it, just went super slick like this. So I knew if I could get into the show and everything, I'd have something really good at the end.
Well, that seemed to work pretty well. You're going to have to let me know where you get those Google setups, because I need some help in that department when I'm running. But what would you grade this event? I think everybody, as I talked about with Tyler, this was a big question mark of an event. And when we finished up last week, everyone seemed to say, you know, I'm really not looking forward to next week. Where would you grade this event? It seemed like it was pretty good racing up front there.
Yeah, personally, I would give it an A, and I'd say that I prefer these to the Pro Late models just because they're a lot more technical, and you got to really control your throttle and work and make it work to actually get to the front and be fast. Where at the Pro, it's a lot more hammered down and kind of boring.
All right, we're heading into Thanksgiving. Anybody you've got to thank as you get ready for the big holiday tomorrow?
I'd just like to shout out, you know, my parents for supporting me in the chat, and anyone else that does. Yeah, that's it. Have a good, safe, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
All right, thank you, Trey, and to you as well.
Thank you.
So Trey Thiesenbitz finishes in the 3rd spot. Kyle Roseboom, your runner-up, and Tyler Johnson, the winner here tonight with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. There you go, Scotty and Jerry. I see you've joined us once again. We end the night. Top 3 are supposed to be happy in victory lane, and we ask them, what do you think about next week? And they all say, oh, no, not those cars, not that track. And yet we'll come back next Wednesday night. We'll do it again. Gotta love this series with the different cars and class track combinations.
Oh, no doubt about it, Sean. Missed the feature there, but yeah, it's adversity and keeping you on your toes. I mean, with running the different cars, whether it's a street stock, a sprint car, you know, a 360, a 410, a late model, a modified, it makes you it makes the cream rise to the top. It makes the drivers that can work them setups and spend some time running them. It shows the class of driver that we've got in this league.
Absolutely. And again, congratulations to John Coots finishing 6th here tonight after coming out of a B main once again. So that man has passed a lot of cars the last 2 weeks of this SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Guys, what another great night of racing. I'll admit, I was nervous coming into this one with super late models at Lernerville, yet here we are, another great show in the books.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, late models always put on a good show. And with the supers being the first time ever running this class, very, very job well done overall, especially for our points leader, Tyler Johnson, in the number 5 car.
Well, I think we should let that wrap up our night as we look forward to food comas of plenty. Detroit Lions kick off for an embarrassment tomorrow at 11:30. So I'll be well into the sauce by about 11:45 tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, you know, and I mean, what else? I mean, the other thing that kicks in for, I mean, we all know that after, you know, Turkey comes Black Friday, and we know what happens on Black Friday is it's always the Hawkeyes and the Cornhuskers, and we know what's going to happen there too.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty well. Yeah, we'll see if the Hawkeyes decide.
First of all,
win.
yeah, well, yeah, because most of the time the Hawkeyes play to not lose. So, but if they, I'm here to tell you what, if they would happen to lose on Black Friday to the Cornhuskers, Chris Krug will never let any of us Hawkeye fans live it down. But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good holiday. You know, I know, Sean, we've talked, you know, it's different for everybody. You know, it might just be your very immediate family. It may just be you. But take care of yourself tomorrow, whether it's with friends, with families, or with yourself. Do what's best for you and take care, because I can't. I'm not a big whole COVID guy, but we gotta get this thing shut down. So do what you can.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well
what I say.
said.
I like in Iowa. My governor tells me, and they tell you in South Dakota also. Just do what you're supposed to do, and we'll be fine. If we do what we're supposed to do, we'll be fine, and it's gonna be fun. And maybe by Christmas time, Santa Claus will bring us a whole bunch of vaccines, and we'll be all healthy, and we can go and have a good time. So
I love it. So a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving season, whether it's in a large family setting or whether it's in a nice intimate setting with you and your close family, whatever it may be. Be thankful this year for what you have, and we'll be thankful to get back to racing here next Wednesday night with the SODAK iRacing Series. Scotty, your final thoughts on the night? You guys down there in I've forgotten where you're at, Mississippi.
Mississippi, but I think he had to go. I think
No,
he
I'm,
said
I'm here.
Oh no, there he is.
I'm here.
Your final thoughts from Mississippi here tonight.
Yeah, great show tonight with the super late models. Can't wait for Street Stocks next week. And yeah, will we have a repeat winner or our 7th different winner here for the SODAK iRacing Series? So only time will tell.
Unbelievable. 6 races, 6 different winners. Jerry, I'll let you say goodnight to everybody who's still tuned in here on Facebook.
All right, everybody. Happy Turkey Day tomorrow. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. You know, same all that good stuff. So we'll see you there for Street Stock. It's Street Stocks, right? Is that what we're having next Friday?
Yeah.
All right. So have fun. Be safe. Have a safe trip home. Be good. God bless. And good night, everybody.